Hello everybody, this is your main man Keith here from Keith Plays PS4 927. Happy Monday to all my awesome viewers on this awesome channel. Today we are in episode 4 of Series 1 NBA 2K22 Finals, Toronto Raptors postseason road to the NBA Finals featuring the Toronto Raptors in this series. So we are 3-0, leading the series in the Eastern Conference first round over the number 8 seed Orlando Magic. So if we win this episode, we advance. The Orlando Magic will not advance. So, and it's going to be to be determined. I'm thinking we'll probably play the New York Knicks next chapter of the playoffs, or maybe the Chicago Bulls, maybe the Boston Celtics. Who knows? So we're going to play in the Amway Center for this episode. So we're going to show you the uniforms and we'll see you at tip-off. Alright, so the Toronto Raptors are going to be wearing their classic away 99 through 03 purple Vince Carter era uniforms on the road against the Orlando Magic, and the Orlando Magic are just going to be wearing their standard white association jerseys at home. Reason why I chose them to wear white in this episode is because they've been wearing it for the last 3 episodes, 3 in a row. So I decided just take a break from the blue uniforms. I will see you at tip-off. Here we are at the Amway Center in Orlando. So now it is tip-off time, and the Orlando Magic have won it. So now Markelle Fultz, losing the basketball, picks it back up for the Magic. So he hasn't been really a starter for this whole series. And Orlando scores it in. It's 2-0. So now we got Fred VanVleet ready to shoot this in from downtown behind the arc. So it's now going to be 3-2 for the Toronto Raptors. So now Markelle Fultz, he does not want to lose the basketball again. So it goes out of bounds. The Magic have possession of the basketball. So Wendell Carter Jr. looks like he's going to pass it to Markelle Fultz. So now Markelle Fultz, there's a foul. It's on Fred VanVleet. It's a reach-in. So now Franz Wagner, he is going to actually pass this to Mo Bamba. So now Mo Bamba's going to pass it to Franz Wagner. So Franz Wagner misses that shot. Wendell Carter Jr. picks it up for the offensive rebound. And unfortunately, Gary Trent Jr. has picked up the rebound for the Raptors. So now Toronto knocks down a 3. And it's now 6-2 here in Orlando. And the Magic are trailing by 4. They don't want to be trailing by so many points because it ruins their chances of being eliminated in the playoffs. So they don't want to be swept in this postseason. So they've not won a single game against this Toronto Raptors team. And Siakam gets this one in for 2. So it's not 8-4 here in Orlando. So now Markelle Fultz passing it to Gary Harris. So now Gary Harris, he's going to make that layup in, and he misses that. So Scotty Barnes, the Florida State man, passing it to OG Anunoby, gets that one in. So it's now 10-4 here in Orlando. So now Markelle Fultz has possession of the basketball. So it looks like he's going to pass it to Gary Harris. He's going to pass it to Markelle Fultz, and he's going to pass it back to Wendell Carter Jr. And it looks like there's 7 seconds to go on the shot clock. So he misses that. Wendell Carter Jr. picks it back up. So it's now 10-6 here in Orlando. And now Siakam's going to pass it to Fred VanVleet. I'm going to pass it to Pascal Siakam. And now Siakam is going to knock down a 3 from downtown. So it's now going to be 13-6 here in Orlando. So we're up by 7. Markelle Fultz passing it to Gary Harris. Then Franz Wagner makes that 3. So it is Gary Harris who picks up that assist. So now Fred VanVleet is going to get this one in for 2 in the paint. Orlando is taking a timeout. We're going to take a break. Alright, it is now 24-14. So we got Fred VanVleet on the court for the Toronto Raptors. He's going to get that one in for 2, so it's now 26-14 at the moment. So the Magic are trailing by 12. Cole Anthony's going to pass it to Terrence Ross, a former Raptors player. Then he loses it, picks it back up. So it looks like Fred VanVleet is going to pick up the basketball. He's going to knock down a 3 before the buzzer beater, and he does. All right, it's a 15-point lead here in Orlando. Toronto is up, so I'm going to pass it to Fred VanVleet. And then he's going to knock this one down from 3. So it's going to be a 3-pointer. So it's now 32-14. It's an 18-point lead here for the Raptors. And now Cole Anthony is going to pick up the basketball. So now Cole Anthony, he is going to miss that shot, picks up that offensive rebound, and gets that in pretty safely there. So we're up by half. So now I'm going to pass it to Birch, number 24. So now number 24 gets this one in for 2 points. So it's now 34-16. Cole Anthony with the possession of the basketball. And it looks like that Cole Anthony is going to lose the basketball. So Precious Achiuwa, former Miami Heat player, is going to get this in for 2 with that nice layup in the paint. So what's up? It's a 20-point lead for Toronto, by the way. So now Gary Harris losing the basketball there, picks it back up. He was so lucky that he recovered it in time, because it could have been a what's it called? Backcourt violation. So now Toronto has made one block so far, and we claimed that possession afterwards. So it's now 38-16. We're actually going to take a break. Alright, so it's now 38-16. Precious Achiuwa, we're going to pass it to Gary Trent Jr. and then some Siakam. We're going to knock down a 3 from downtown, and he gets it from behind the arc. So it's now a 25-point lead for Toronto at this point. And Markelle Fultz loses the basketball, but then he picks it back up, misses that shot. So Thaddeus Young is going to pick up that rebound, and the assist to Pascal Siakam, getting it in the paint there. So Thaddeus Young does get that assist. So now it is Pascal Siakam going to get that dunk in for 2. So it's now almost a 30-point lead for Toronto. And 12 points, and he's off to a really hot start today. So Mo Bamba's going to dunk that in for 2. Now it's 45-18 at this point. So now I'm going to pass it to Gary Trent Jr. He's going to get that in for 2. Terrence Ross has a shooting foul, so this means Gary Trent Jr. will go to the free-throw line once added, and he gets it in for 1 extra point. So we're up by 30-some points now, and Markelle Fultz with the possession of the basketball. Where is he going to pass it to? He's going to pass it to Wendell Carter Jr. and then some Markelle Fultz. So Markelle Fultz, he's going to dribble the basketball, and will he get that in? No. Mo Bamba gets that in there for 2, so it's now 48-20. And I'm going to pass it to Pascal Siakam, and Siakam gets that in there. Wendell Carter Jr. has a foul, though. And Siakam has 1 steal, 14 points today, and he's 6 for 6 for field goals, so that's really good. But he goes to the free-throw line, and Toronto is off to a really hot start. They have a 81% chance of having a probability of winning today's game. Franz Wagner misses that, then Mo Bamba dunks that in, picks up the offensive rebound, and Gary Trent Jr. gets that in there. So it's now 51-22 at this point. So now 44.6 seconds to go. What will Mo Bamba do? Will he get an extra point for the Magic? Yes, he will. So I'm going to pass it to Pascal Siakam. Flynn picking up that assist there, passing it to the other side of the court. And it's now 53-23. So now Markelle Fultz doing that nice spin move. Going to pass it to Mo Bamba. Dunks that in there. And now Gary Trent Jr. He's going to dunk this one in for 2 points. So it's now 55-25. And we're up by 30 points. So 30 seconds to go. And now Markelle Fultz going to pass that to Wendell Carter Jr. Gets that layup there. So it's now 55-27 at this point. 23.22 now seconds. And Siakam, he's going to knock down a three. Gets it in there. So it's now 58-27. So we're almost by 60 points. So Toronto is a really fast scoring team. I like to be a really fast scorer. So more times you score faster, more times you end up winning. So now OG Anunoby, he's going to knock down a three, hits the buzzer beater, and it's now 61-27. So the shot clock is up to 0. It is halftime. Pascal Siakam, 20 points, 8 for 8 today so far. And it's crazy to think that he scored 20 points within this first half. So now Siakam doing that nice spin move there. He gets that, actually misses that. And now Gary Harris has possession of the basketball. So now there's a block there made by Toronto. So now Orlando, there's a foul there. It's on Gary Trent Jr. It's a reach-in foul. So now we're ready to play some defense here. We want the ball real badly and want to score more points. So there's 3 minutes and 39 seconds to go. They're going to pass it to Mo Bamba. He's going to dunk that in. So now 20 points for Siakam, 11 points for Mo Bamba. And they're both the scoring leaders for both teams. So Chris Boucher made that three, so it's now 64-29. Gary Harris picking up, losing the basketball. Then it was Mo Bamba who picks up that steal. Then it's Gary Harris again, and now it is Chris Boucher gonna pass it off to Fred VanVleet. So Fred VanVleet knocks it from downtown, so it's now 67-29. And Markelle Fultz has possession of the basketball. So he's going to pass that all around the court. He gets it to Gary Harris and then some Franz Wagner. And it looks like that Franz Wagner passing it to Wendell Carter Jr. makes that dunk there. It's now 67-31. So now Pascal Siakam's going to pass to Fred VanVleet. So now Siakam, he's going to knock down a three from behind the arc. So it's now 70-31. So Wendell Carter Jr. passing that to Markelle Fultz. And there is a foul there. Pascal Siakam, it's a reach-in. So it's 2 minutes, 9 seconds to go in the third. Cole Anthony has possession of the basketball. He's going to pass it to Robin Lopez. And then Cole Anthony with that dunk. So it's now a 37-point lead for the Toronto Raptors. So now I'm going to pass it off to Scotty Barnes, whom we haven't really heard of all of this episode. So he drills it from three. And it's now 73-33. So now Robin Lopez passing it to Cole Anthony. And Fred VanVleet picking up that steal. So now he gets that in for 2 points. So it's now 75-33. Magic have not been doing too well in field goals today with 52. But Toronto on the other side has been doing pretty decent all this episode. But Cole Anthony losing that basketball. Fred VanVleet picks it up. And there is a foul there. It's on Cole Anthony. It's a shooting foul. So Fred VanVleet, he is getting one of them in. Will he get the second one in for the free throw? Yes, he will. So it's now 77-33. And Markelle Fultz, he's going to pass it to Cole Anthony. Gets that in there for two. Now it's 77-35, so I'm going to use Fred VanVleet. He's going to get that in for two, so Cole Anthony, there's a foul on him again. So now Fred VanVleet, will he actually get this 3 throw in. This time, unfortunately, not. So now he's going to pass it to Terrace Ross. So 50 seconds to go. And Robin Lopez losing the basketball, passing it off to Birch. And this is going to end up being 81-35. We will see you guys in the fourth quarter. We're actually going to take a break. Alright, so it's now 85-35. I decided to take a break till after the first 30 seconds of the beginning of the fourth quarter. So Gary Trent Jr. knocks down a 3 from behind the arc. So it's now 88-35. And it is Hampton that loses the basketball, but then Hampton picks up the basketball. He's going to pass it to Jalen Suggs. There was a nice block there. And I'm going to pass it to Fred VanVleet. And then passing it around. And then we give it to the Magic. So now Hampton's going to pass it to Okeke. And then Hampton's going to get this one in for 2. So it's now a 51-point lead here for Toronto, and Siakam getting that in there for 2. So it's now 90-37. So now Jalen Suggs losing the basketball there, and Siakam making that nice dunk. And it's now 92-37. 27 points today for Pascal Siakam, and 10 of which are in the paint. This will be his 29th tonight. So Siakam has 29 points. He's only missed 1 field goal already. So now it is Jalen Suggs that has possession of the basketball. And Jalen Suggs, 10 steals today for Toronto and 28 points off of Orlando's turnovers. And Siakam picks up the steal. So now I'm going to try to shoot this in from 2 points, a mid-range shot. So it's now 96-37, 31 points, 8 of which are in the fourth quarter. So now Gary Trent Jr., he's going to pass it to Chris Boucher. He makes that in for 3, and it's now 99-37 at this point. So now Gary Trent Jr. picks up the steal, but then now Orlando has possession of it. So now the ball is going to the Magic since it went out of bounds in that black paint there. So Orlando still has possession. So this is not good news for Orlando Magic fans. There's 1 minute and 8 seconds to go, and they are going home after losing 4 straight games. So we're going to pass that to Boucher and then to Banton, and then some Thaddeus Young. He's going to knock this one down for 2. So it's now 101-39, 62-point lead. So now they're going to pass it to Hampton, and then Markelle Fultz with the possession of the basketball. And Markelle Fultz, he was pretty lucky there that he didn't get his left foot out of in the line there, because if he put his left foot in the line, that would have been a backcourt violation. So now Chris Boucher, what is he going to do? Pass it around a little bit. And now Thaddeus Young gets this one in, so it's now 103-42. And they're going to dribble their way out. 26 seconds here in Orlando. Robin Lopez making the final play for the Magic as the Toronto Raptors will advance on to the next round. So I'm going to use some Thaddeus Young here. And now I'm going to use some threes. And we'll see you guys at statistics. 106-42 final score. Pascal Siakam, 31 points, 2 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 dunks on the day for Siakam, player of the game, by the way. Fred VanVleet, he had 22 points, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 block on the day. So Toronto has been making quite a bit of blocks today, off and on. So Gary Trent Jr. had 11 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal on the day, and had a dunk. Chris Boucher, 11 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists there, and he had a block as well. Thaddeus Young, he had 9 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal, and had a dunk. I'm not going to go over Orlando's. I'm sorry because of how much time I got left on my camera. So we'll see you guys in the next round.